Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today is May 22nd, 2022, and I'm tired, y'all. I'm tired of studying for the MCAT. I'm tired of just feeling exhausted. For anyone new to my channel or just learning about my journey, my name is Mikayla. I graduated in the fall of 2019 from USF, and I thought that I was going to go straight into medical school. Like, my plan was take my MCAT within 3 months of studying, so by April, and then apply May, get secondaries by June, July, and know by October what school I was going to as far as acceptances, and then be out the door going to med school in 2021. That was the plan. Funny thing is, I was not strong. I was not prepared. I wasn't healthy, and I wasn't mature enough to make the decisions that I needed to make. I was more open to just running away. And I'm just being honest. I wanted to get up and get out. I didn't want to be held accountable for anything else. I didn't want to do anything else. I didn't want to be around anyone else. I just wanted to go to medical school. I just wanted to become a doctor and finally live my dreams out loud. And when I tell you, God has a funny way of humbling you, to the point where it's like, okay, Abba, like, this is getting a little too humbling. But I went through such a rough patch in my life these past 2 years. So this is a little personal, but I wanted to share this so people who are going through the same experience understand that it's normal, but doesn't make it nice. Doesn't make it feel nice, doesn't make it feel good. It's really hard, especially when you're the first in your family to do a lot of things, or be that generational curse breaker, or be that person that's going to shift your legacy and your lineage going forward in the futuristic plans of Christ. So I've always been super ambitious, super goal oriented. I've always saw myself bigger, not than life, but bigger than my current circumstances. So if you told me I didn't have the money, I was like, girl, one day I'm gonna be wealthy. Like, one day I'm gonna marry wealthy. I'm gonna be that wealthy person. I'm going to, have a husband who's da-da-da-da. Like, I always had a counteract comment for someone who told me I couldn't or wouldn't be. And going through as a pre-med, you hear that one too many times. Oh, you'll never be good enough. Your grades aren't good enough. You withdrew from too many classes. You made a D in organic chemistry. You don't come from money. Your race, you're African American. It's just so many things people have to say about you. And it sucks. It sucks. It sucks that people don't see you for who you are and who you're going to become. They have this fictitious reality in their mind about who you are, who you're supposed to be. And they can't catch the growth because within themselves, they don't see themselves growing or the growth of who they're supposed to be. And I had to learn that, and still learning that. There were times where I had friends, close loved ones, or relatives speak negatively, speak down on my journey, speak down on me. When the pandemic hit, I was supposed to take my exam in April, but everything was shut down. So it moved to June. Well, June came and I was just tired. I didn't know what burnout was, and I didn't know what imposter syndrome was. I just knew that I was tired. So now, mind you, I've been working nonstop. I mean, in undergrad, 2 or 3 part-time jobs, tutoring, studying, personal, private things. It was just a lot going on. So I hadn't entered a season of rest yet. I was still moving. So from April, now June, COVID hit, my family was affected. I was affected. Now we're going into September, okay? September comes around and I am exhausted. And I was so done. I had took my exam in the middle of the pandemic after being affected by COVID and being like the caretaker for my family. When I tell you September couldn't have came soon enough for me to just get some rest. And even then I felt as though I was doing nothing with my life. I thought that I was a nobody. I thought because I wasn't working, I thought because I wasn't studying, I thought because I hadn't really done anything in that year that I was a failure. And despite best friends, family, the people who really supported me, despite them telling me that I wasn't a failure or that I was successful in life, it didn't matter to me at that moment. What mattered was what I saw, and I didn't see any success. I didn't see any progression. I just saw me being stagnant. So October comes and I'm like, okay, it's my birthday, and I just felt waves of emotions. I felt betrayal, I felt neglect, I felt abandoned, and a lot of it stemmed from me. I started seeing myself for what the situation really looked like, which was nothingness. And the only word that could come to mind was depression. I felt so depressed. I felt so down. I felt so alone. I felt that even in a room of people who genuinely loved and supported me, that I was nobody. I thought that I really was nobody. And that was one of the most difficult times of my life. I remember my homegirl and I, we went to the beach and we were like, her mom had made some of my favorite dishes, and I just couldn't help but cry. I couldn't help but reflect and cry. And that was a very hard time for me, 2020. I had never cried so much about the same thing but different trials. And I found myself being like, God, what is going on? You know, why am I failing so bad? I've never failed like this. I've never seen myself as a failure. So it was around, I was happy, but I was discontent, if that makes sense, with just my life as a whole. And November comes around, and this is when God truly broke me to pieces, okay? And the reason why I say God was because it only could have happened because he allowed it. If you're unfamiliar with the story of Job or Esther, a lot of things that happen in their life, I encourage you to read if you haven't. A lot of things that happen in their life is because God willed it to happen, not just for them, but for their people and for character to be cultivated and tried and tested. But you couldn't tell me that. I was like, bump that. I don't want to hear all that. I don't want to deal with this. I want to be done with this. Move on. Go to medical school. I don't care. Still in that finite mind of like, medicine is the answer to my problems. I really thought that if I got accepted to medical school, I wouldn't be going through rejection. I wouldn't feel like a failure. People wouldn't be looking at me like I'm crazy. I wouldn't be retaking this MCAT multiple times. I'd be in medical school. Like, I wouldn't have these issues. Bae, it's deeper than medical school. It's more to it than just medicine. But again, because I was so accustomed to medicine being my identity that I didn't see myself as an individual. I'm gonna say it again. Because I didn't see myself outside of medicine, because medicine was my identity, I didn't see myself as an individual. And a lot of pre-meds, I believe, are going through the same thing when it comes to burnout and imposter syndrome. You've been so accustomed to believe that you are your research project, you are your grant proposal, you are your PhD, you are your stats, you are your median GPA, you are all of these things, but in reality, you are you. You bring those things to the table. They don't bring themselves to you. You receive favor because of you, not because of your grades. You see what I'm saying? And I didn't realize that. So it took me being hurt and disappointed to realize, babe, I'm that girl. Like, I don't have to focus so much on comparison, because comparison, like my family says, is the thief of joy and the cousin of jealousy. And it's scornful. It's scornful and hurtful when you see people who are jealous and compare themselves to your plight. And that was something I was so accustomed to doing. I'm scrolling through Instagram, right? Oh my gosh, they're going to medical school. Oh my gosh, they got into this program. They got a full ride. Oh my gosh. And I'm sitting here in my room just bawling, because why isn't it my turn? Why do I have to keep going through being hurt to get to where I want to be? Why is it so hard? Why is it so difficult? Why is it not easy like it was before? So 2021 comes around, y'all. Oh, so yeah, I went to Holy Convocation and everything in my church, and it was great, but I still felt broken, okay? So 2021 comes around, and I said, okay, I'm gonna go back at this MCAT, right? Because I took it, and I didn't score well. I didn't the first time. I like I told you, I didn't score well. Second time I said, you know what? Okay, let me get back in it. Let me get back in it and see if I can do this thing. So I turned around and I said, I'm gonna give myself 6 months to take this test. So it was January till June. I was supposed to take it like June 30th, I think, or Juneteenth is when I was supposed to take it. So I said, okay, I guess it's our holiday. It has to be luck. I'm ready. So, so I went and I studied, y'all, all that time. And I said, I'm going to go back at it this time. So I'm going to study and I'm going to apply to medical school, right? So 2021, I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to go in it with a better perspective. I know that better is coming. I know it. Y'all, from January till June, it was nothing but pure hell. Pure hell, okay? From family to friends to church folks to like money. I mean, everything was just chaotic. And I saw myself every other day just boo-hoo crying. Whatever you thought happened 10 times over. It was so bad. It was so bad. And now, mind you, I haven't had a job since graduation. Like December 2019 going to January was my last time working. So almost a year and some change, I have not had deposits in my account. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not used to not having like this. This is wild. So it was just every time you looked up, something was happening. Something was being lost. Something was being destroyed. Like some barrier was being broken. It was just a lot going on. So even in all that, I found myself going through every single test prep company. I found myself asking everybody, I mean, through GroupMe, through WhatsApp, through Facebook groups, y'all, what am I doing wrong? What can I use your study plan? Can I look at your resources? Maybe I'm doing something wrong. My MCAT score was not jumping whatsoever. And I was like, I'm tired of seeing these questions pop up. What's going on? Long story short, y'all, I went ahead and took the MCAT, and I said, okay, this is fine, right? So May, if you're not familiar, May 4th is when the AMC opens their application cycle, and ACOMAS opens theirs, I believe, May the 5th or May the 6th, I believe. And you have up until the end of the month for AMC, the 28th, to fill out all your information and submit your application. So I was like, okay, like let me try to figure out what's going on with the MCAT and stuff like that. So let me backpedal a little bit, y'all, before I get to that, so you can understand context-wise, because I want to be honest with my journey. So, going into 2021, I told the Lord, I was like, I want whatever I'm doing to be driven by you, okay? Though those 6 months were hell, it was so much potential blessings happening in the midst of that. And I knew that's why I was going through hell, because it was so many good things happening. You see what I'm saying? So I had a journal where I would write down, like, okay, Lord, these are things that I want, but this is what I'm expecting. But if they don't happen, let your will be done. Things like that. So I remember it was like 2 or 3 things I say every month. Like, oh, Lord, before the end of this month, I think it was like March. I was like, Lord, before the end of this month, I want to have a research position. I want to do research, because I didn't have research. I only had community service and volunteering and shadowing. I did not have research or publication. So through the Lord's grace and mercy, I had one of my mentors who was helping me do my personal statement reach out to his mentor at Vanderbilt, and God blessed me with such a wonderful lifelong mentor now, and I'm actually still doing research with Vanderbilt, an opportunity that wouldn't have happened if the pandemic hadn't happened, if I hadn't gotten in contact with my mentor. So I'm super grateful for that. And it happened before the end of March. It was like the last week in March that it happened. I'm like, okay, Lord, we're picking up. It's hot around me, but we're picking up. So, y'all, it felt like hell, but things were picking up. So I'm like, oh, it's not that bad. You know, it's like a meme where the little dog is like in a room and he's like, oh, it's not too bad. That's how I felt. So, y'all, then I'm doing all this stuff, you know, with my personal statement. Anyone who knows about personal statements, it takes you some time. So anyway, all that happened, and I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to take my test in June. I'm going to submit my application, keep it moving. Well, May comes around-ish, and no, April comes around. And I've never had anxiety like that. But I'm not going to say it was anxiety. I was panicking. Because the test was the 24th and it was April 14th, and I did not want to take it. I was not ready. I was still scoring 484s on my practice test. And I just could not handle rejection again from the MCAT. So I ended up rescheduling it to July 30th to give myself more time to study, right? So around this time, I got the best study partner I had, my homegirl, and things were picking up. You know, my score was jumping, and I was now in the 490s, like the 492s or whatever. I'm like, okay, it's not where I want to be, but we're getting there, okay? So y'all, long story short, I told myself, this is what I always say with the MCAT, it's funny. I was saying, I'm going to submit my application, and I'm not going to look at my MCAT score until I get my first acceptance. That's what I said. I said, okay, Lord, I want to know that I'm walking in favor by not looking at my MCAT. Which, y'all, I mean, if your score is jumping like that, you can make that kind of request, but for me, it wasn't like that. So, God has a sense of humor. So, I went and everything was, I did my EASTs and everything. And what I'll do is I may do a separate video about my application and being a reapplicant and all that stuff later on in my journey maybe. But long story short, that happened. And I was getting secondaries, you know. I got my secondaries back, and it's around August, September, and I'm getting a secondary back from Howard. And I got the email, and it said, we reviewed your application, and they had I had sent in my secondary, and they said, your MCAT score does not meet our MCAT cutoff. And I was like, wait a minute, hold on. Because they put the number that you need. which is like a 493 or 495, I think, something like that. And I was like, wait, what? So for that entire day, I was like, okay, I'm not gonna open it. But I had already applied to all my MD and DO schools, so I'm like, okay, wait, pause. If Howard said I didn't meet their median, I probably didn't meet the median for all the other schools too. So I'm panicking, y'all, panicking. So I go and I said, okay, let me just go ahead and look at my score. Y'all, I broke down in tears. I was like, Lord, I thought I was doing everything right. Everything was looking good. I'm just going to be honest with y'all. I scored a 485, a 485, 45, I think. And the highest I scored was in Psych Soc. It was like a 123 or something like that, 124. And I was devastated. I was embarrassed. I was not ready for the ridicule of my family or people who knew about my journey. And when I say ridicule, I just mean, you know, oh, you're so smart, you're so this, you're so that, but why is it taking you so long? So that kind of ridicule, those kind of comments. And I'm not saying that people were wrong for what they were saying, but I just wasn't ready for it. Anyone who knows me, I try my best to stop things in their tracks before it proliferates if I can help it. But if not, it is what it is. So, long story short, I had told everybody that I was going to wait until my interview to look at my MCAT, but I had already knew. So, it was December, January-ish, and I was still using that excuse, but I knew off rip that I wasn't getting into medical school. I knew it. With that score, I just knew it. So I stopped sending out my secondaries. I stopped looking at emails. Even for DO schools, I stopped. So it's like around January. And whatever I did before, I finished it. I finished like 80% of my secondaries, but the rest, I was like, no, I'm not doing it. So January comes around, okay? And at this point, I'm like, okay, something has to give. November came around. And it's after my birthday and everything, and I'm like, Kayla, you gotta make a change. This is not healthy for you. And I really had to assess my whole plan. I had to assess who I was, where I was going, and what I wanted to do. So I was sitting down, and I was speaking with, I think it was my mentor or somebody. It was somebody. And I was just venting about everything. And they said, it was my godmom. Thank you, Lord. My godmom. And I was just telling her, my godmama, I feel like a failure. Like there's nothing else that I think I can do to really help me get to where I want to be. And I was just, telling her that I was like, everybody's telling me to do all these other things, but that's not going to make me happy. Everyone's saying, well, go back and do this, go back and do that. And I said, I want to become a doctor. I know I'm supposed to be a doctor. And it was just embarrassing. It was so embarrassing. Because now I'm in year 2, and what do I have to show for it, So she was saying, Kayla, why don't you go and get your master's? And y'all, when I tell y'all that broke me, because, and I'll go in depth about this later, but long story short, I wanted my master's, but I wanted to get it in a dual degree program in medical school, because I thought if I'm taking an extra year to do something, I want to do it with my doctorate degree. But that wasn't God's plan. It wasn't. And I had to understand that I could do it my way or his way and go the highway and actually be healthy while doing it. Because my way, y'all, it was taking me for a toll, okay? But long story short, it was November, and I was like, okay, God, mama, let's get this master's. Like, let's get done. So when I tell y'all, I was applying to master's programs, and it's now January, going on March, okay? I'm still studying for my MCAT. Through all this, I'm still studying, but it's sporadic, because I'm like, I'm tired. Like, I'm tired. After July, taking it the second time, I was tired. And when I got that score back, I was like, I'm done. I'm done. I don't want to take this test anymore. I'm tired of looking at books. I'm tired of looking at the pixelized mnemonics. I'm tired. Like, I'm tired of the hoopla. I'm done. So I started working in August, and then now we're in November, and now we're in January. So January comes around, and I'm like, okay, I haven't heard back from master's programs. Like, what's going on? I was more nervous about applying to master's programs than I was for medical school, because I had been rejected twice. So I was like, I can't handle one more ounce of rejection. But I was being a little dramatic. But everything worked out well. So now here I am in my journey. And I still have to take my MCAT, y'all. Still have to take it. So it's just a fight taking my MCAT. It's a fight getting up, studying, being productive. So as I go through monthly, I'll do little snippets about my journey and how I'm feeling, what I'm studying, how I'm doing things. I just finished making my schedule again. Like, revamping my schedule, revamping a lot of stuff. And I'll be sure to put updates on my blog posts with my schedule or things like that for those who want to use it, or just see how, when it's time for them to go through that process, maybe how they'd like to study for it. I'm not saying anything crazy. I'm just saying it doesn't hurt to try or get a new perspective on things. I was very closed-minded in how I was going through my journey, and now I'm like, okay, I need to get better books. I need to figure out how my learning style works best for this test to succeed, because it's my third time taking it. And I'm laughing about it because me, back in 2019 or even 2017, were like, oh no, I'm taking it once and I'm passing. But God loves the humble and the broken. So that's where I am with my journey and my MCAT. And I hope you guys keep me in your prayers. Good prayers, please. I hope you guys who are studying for the MCAT, if this is your third time, second time, fifth, whatever, I hope you guys don't lose faith in yourself, in God, in your ability to succeed in this test. And I hope you're not overwhelmed with the voices of others to where you overlook yourself and your own voice. It's hurtful that this journey requires so much of your time, so much of yourself. But like my dad always says, baby girl, don't lose yourself. I don't want y'all to lose yourself in this test. I don't want you guys to lose yourself in your journey. I don't want you guys to lose yourself in your thoughts, whether it's negative, whether it's positive. Because I'm reminded of Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the thoughts that I think towards you, saith the Lord, thoughts of good and not of evil. It's a hopeful scripture. And I'm going to let you finish reading the rest, because I want you guys to grow in godliness and in your growth as well. Because if it wasn't for God in this journey, y'all. But I'm so thankful for character, because now when things come my way, I can endure it well. And not just as a good soldier, but just a good person towards that situation. Where I used to be like, you're not gonna try me. So that's my journey, y'all, with the MCAT. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Mikayla, aka the Holistic Hottie, and I wanted to come by and just give you guys a quick little update on my journey with the MCAT. So for those of you who do not know, I'm scheduled to take my MCAT in September. So I have about 7 weeks until my actual test date. So that means I'm in my crunch time, I'm in my let's get it done, get it moving, get it popping stage. And so I'm cracking down on UWorld and AMC along with Pixarize to really help solidify the information for my exam. So today was the first day with more questions. I did about 100 questions today, and what I did was I broke them up in sections. So towards the end of my journey, I think I'm going to do a MCAT breakdown of how I studied, all what I did, my schedule, and just really help you guys who are looking to learn more about the MCAT. So today was day 1, and what I'm going to do is kind of come on and just do a weekly synopsis with my exams and kind of things I'm learning. So by the time this video comes out, I would have already taken my exam, and you guys would have been with me throughout the whole journey. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy. Hey Holistic Hotties, it's your girl Mikayla, and I just wanted to come in and say good morning. It is 7:39 in the morning, and I'm getting ready to take my first practice test, and I'm excited. I'm really excited. I'm practicing. I'm just really excited. So I wanted to come in and check in with you guys and kind of talk about my journey a little bit for a few seconds. Long story short, I'm going to be doing a practice test every week. I'll be bringing you guys along with me. I'm wearing literally what I'm going to be wearing for the test day, my lunch, like the whole nine. And I really want to simulate the testing environment and see how well I perform, what I need to work on, content, all things like that. So I'm excited, and I'm going to take this test and come back afterwards and talk to you guys about it, review, and then see where I go from there. Bye guys. Okay guys, so I'm back, and I scored a 486. I wanted a 497, but that's okay. Like 13 points away from where I want it to be, but it's okay. I scored in the 10th percentile. I got 106 of 230 questions right, which is okay. It's progress. I scored a 122 in Chem Phys, a 120 in Cars, 121 in Biochem, and a 123 in Psych Soc. So Cars was actually my lowest, but progression. I'm gonna be some boba because I want to treat myself. And this is just the beginning. It's August the 5th, 2:52 p.m. I'm finished. I'm gonna go something to eat and drink. Until next time. So today's August the 1st, 2022, and I was looking at my memories from last year on Snapchat, where 3 years ago I was getting help from my best friend Michelle to go over my personal statement, and I was applying or getting ready to apply for the upcoming cycle to medical school. And 3 years, wow. Long story short, today is my 7-week commitment to get up that 505 on my MCAT or higher in Jesus' name. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's August the 19th, the day after I took my practice test, and we're back at it going over review. So right now I'm just using my iPad to compare what I did on my test to the Jack Weston Chrome extension, and he has great explanations for why everything went wrong, what you did wrong, how to look at the questions, and they're super helpful. And I love how on my iPad you can compare screens and everything. I'm gonna show you guys how I did that. And I'm just super encouraged to just do well on this test, and I'm excited. So classes start actually on Monday, so no one's in here in the library, it's just me, which is perfect because I'm talking out loud and getting things together. So I'm going to show you guys what my screen looks like. So this is what I mean by comparing my screens. So this was the actual question that I got wrong. And Jack Weston has it where he goes through the entire question pack for you. So as I'm looking through the passage, I can see why the questions are wrong, what happened, and then compare it to what he has and then what my answer choice was, and then go from there. So this question actually doesn't go with that one, so let me go to the one I'm talking about. Yeah. So here, this is where you can actually compare everything and see why you got it incorrect. And I love it because I can go back and forth versus just having one tab open and then see from there. So that's what I'm doing, writing down in my planner, taking some notes if I need to. And also in the AMC, you can take notes in your question packs if you need to. So it's super helpful. And I'm going to get finished with Psych Social. Hey y'all, if I look a little stuffy, it's because I am. Just wanted to come and give a quick little update. So I took my practice exam, reviewed everything. Today, reviewed some pieces. Everything's coming together. Tomorrow is my actual practice test, and in a week, I take my exam. So I'm super excited, and I will see you guys then. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I basically took another practice test and I scored a 487, and now I'm in the 11th percentile. I did a 122 on chem, 121 in cars, a 120 in biochem, and a 124 in psych soc. So you know what's funny? At this point, I'm not worried. It's more so I know I need to do more practice tests and more questions, and I'm just ready to take this exam, score well, and move on with my life to my next chapter. That's really it. I'm not in a place where I'm trying to like go crazy or get too low, because like right now this is kind of like that area where I'm at, and it's my first week of my master's program, and I look tired because I am a little tired, but the amount of information they want you to learn is a lot. It's the first week, and next week it gets even more more material after that. So we're supposed to have study groups, and I have one, thankfully. I have like two, but like one primary one. And when I saw the score, I was like, okay. I was like, okay, God is good. He told me I'm gonna pass. I'm gonna it as well. So I'm not worried about anything. I actually had fun. This was the first practice test I actually had fun doing, and the psych soc was the one I had the most fun with. What's wild is I thought I was doing better with biochem, but I think towards the end I don't know, but I know I need to work on biochem a lot. So while I'm going over the slides for my master's program, because again, we're taking biochem, anatomy, microimmunology, and genetics. So in my study group, I'm the one who's responsible for all the biochem and genetics material. So I do the Anki, the questions, I do my review, my notes, and that's basically what I do. Okay guys, so here you'll see me using boot camp and just reviewing my PowerPoint presentations for that week. And I will also make booklets for that. After that, I would come home, you guys, you see me making the booklets and taking information and putting it in Anki. That way I can review and go over any questions based on the PowerPoint slides from my TA. So, hey guys, so T-minus 1 day until my actual exam. Today I'm going to finish reviewing the biochem section for my exam. I took exam 4, I believe, so I'm super excited, and tomorrow's the real deal, y'all. So getting some last minute reviewing in, and then have class, and then I'll come back tomorrow, maybe before my test, and afterwards we'll see what happens and tell you how it went. So see you guys tomorrow. Okay guys, so I just finished my exam and I couldn't be happier. I couldn't be happier. Just knowing that this is one and done. This is the last and final time. I processed it a little bit when I walked out, and it's like, you know how you've been praying for something for such a long time, or there's a goal you really want, but it's just taken so long to get there. That's how I feel. And I'm just so thankful to be on the other side. I don't even have my score yet, but I'm so grateful. And I'm just happy. I'm happy because I can't tell you how many times I cried. How many times I cried about this test, about this part of my life, and how it was so daunting sometimes, and I had to sacrifice so much. And even then it seemed like, am I really sacrificing enough? Am I really giving it my all? It was worth it. It was worth it. When I walked out, it was just that overwhelming surge of emotion, just boohoo crying, and I've never done that. Never done that. And my heart is just so, I want to keep crying. I want to keep crying because it's been such a hard journey, in a sense. And I'm not gonna cry on camera, but it's been a journey, and the journey just keeps on continuing, because we still have step 1, step 2. Oh my gosh. We got all these exams, but to God be the glory. We're gonna pass and surpass every time, period. So I'm not worried about that. Funny enough, I'm excited for step 1, but when it came to the MCAT, I was like, what? I don't know, but I pray I still have that same drive when it gets time for that, but we'll see. Anyways, I just want to say thank you guys, and I want to come back in and just tell you guys, hey, and the next part of the clip will probably be when I get my score. Hey guys, you see we did not make the 505, but that's okay. The marathon still continues. I'm still going to keep pressing and pushing, and just stay encouraged, guys, if you didn't get the score that you want on the MCAT. If you're on your journey, please don't feel alone. There's always somebody out there you can network with, contact, or just have as a great social support group. It could be spiritual, emotional, it could be academic, whatever. But don't go through this journey alone. It's very daunting if you go through it alone. And I'm speaking from a personal experience. I've taken it 3 times, and every time has gotten better. Every time there was things that would break off and shift where I wouldn't do that the next time go around. This time around, it was completely different, and I was more open to being vulnerable and asking for help and being like, I don't know this stuff, and not being so prideful, and just willingly letting go, letting God, and just, you know, the material, like, you know it in and out. So don't second guess yourself. If you feel it, do it. Don't play back and forth with it. When it comes to your time, when it comes to your purpose, don't play with it. Do it. Period. And that's just what I had to learn my third time around. I don't want you guys to do that same thing. I want y'all to get it the first time, maybe second if you have to. But if you have to be like me and do the third, it's okay. It's okay. So whatever timing you're on, regardless. So everyone's path is totally different, but the end goal is to become the best physician possible without crushing your individual at the cost of your individuality at that. So that's just my biggest tidbit, and I'm excited, y'all. I'm excited for me. I'm excited for you guys. So let me know in the comment section below if you guys are studying, if you just took your MCAT, if you're waiting on your score, where you're in the process. I want to hear. Let me know. And again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.